Morning campers, welcome back to the channel. Right, well I say morning, it's actually just coming up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon or the evening, but I worked a night shift last night, so my body clock is very much telling me it's morning. Anyway, if you'd have watched my last video, you'll know that I've just had a long break from flying, which means I've got no hours currently in my logbook, and I'm scrabbling to get the hours together because I need to revalidate my licence in a few weeks. I've got about 3 weeks, as it turns out, to fly 6 hours. So normally after a night shift, I'd be at home in my gym jams walking around like a zombie, but today, as you can see, the weather is absolutely glorious here at Darley Moor, so I've got to grab every single opportunity that I can to go flying. I've got the airfield to myself, which is a bit concerning. I don't know if they know something I don't. But the plan for today is just to go up, go for an hour around the local area. I'll show you some of the sights. So enough waffling, let's get in the air. That's fastened, all secure. T throttle is set, master switch on. Clear prop. I was asked a question a few weeks ago from a subscriber who had obviously watched the video when I'm warming the engine up, and he asked the question, why does the engine shake so much? And I guess it does look pretty shaky. When the engine first starts, I'm not sure why, somebody who's way cleverer than me will probably be able to explain. It runs rich initially, until it warms up, then it seems to lean out a bit. Whilst it's running rich, one of the symptoms of a rich running engine is it does shake a little bit. So it's nothing to worry about. I'm told it's all perfectly normal. Once the engine is warmed up, it does smooth itself out quite a bit. So there we go. And Darley Moor traffic, Golf Papa X-ray, taking off 01 at Darley Moor. (17:26) off the ground. Darley Moor traffic, Golf Charlie Mike Papa X-ray, departing the circuit to the north, Darley Moor. Right, so now we're up in the air. Let me give you a taster of what is around us. So just to the north of the airfield is the town of Ashbourne, which is right in front of us. And then just to the right of Ashbourne is the old RAF Ashbourne base, which I now think is an industrial estate. Like a lot of old RAF bases, it's now no longer used for what it was initially designed for. But that's the town of Ashbourne. Ashbourne is a lovely place. It's a really nice place to go and visit. It's a proper market town. A really nice place to go and visit. Very, very popular in the summer, as is most of this area. Let me turn them off. We don't need to listen to them anymore. I also got asked a question about these bar mitts, which I've got on my bar, as you can see. A lot of people asking, what are they, how do they work, where do you get them from? What I'll do, if I remember, when I land, I'll just do a little bit of video showing you how these bar mitts work. Right, so bar mitts then. This was following a question from Doug Bowman, I think was his name. Sorry if I got your surname wrong. It's definitely Doug though. And he asked, where do I get these bar mitts from? So there's a link in the description as to where you can get them from. They're not expensive, £20, £30. There's a couple of places that make them. Blue Sky Blue, I think, is one place that makes them, and Ozy, they make them as well. I think these are Ozy ones. As I say, a link in the description is where you can get them. Doug also asked, can I just do a short video just to show how they attach to the bar? Which your wishes might command, Doug. So very, very simple. It's all just done by Velcro. You can basically just pull them apart and then they fit onto the bar as so, and then just quite simply Velcro up, and that is it. Simple as that. Brilliant things, keeping your fingers nice and toasty warm. There's nothing worse than cold fingers. So anyway, there you go. That's bar mitts. They are great bits of kit because in the winter, when it's really, really cold, if you want to keep your hands warm, you have to wear really, really thick gloves, which is all right. But then if you try and operate anything like a camera or press a button on your phone or something, you just can't do it because you've got great big club fingers. Whereas wearing the bar mitts, when the weather is warm but a bit cold up top, you can still wear thin gloves like I've got on now, which let you do things, but you can fit your hands still inside the mitts and keep them nice and warm. And in the summer, I won't wear any gloves at all, but if my hands do start to feel a little bit chilly, I can just pop them inside these mitts. They're brilliant things. I'll put a link down in the description below as to where you can get some if you want some. And if I remember, I'll just do a quick video just to show you how they attach. Just a bit of Velcro, nothing complicated. Great things though. Right, so I'm just flying towards something which is perhaps more of interest to the more aviation nerdy type people. And that is the, hopefully you'll see it on the camera, I know things never appear very great on a GoPro, but that is the Trent VOR, or I think was it Very High Frequency Omnidirectional Range, I think it stands for. Basically it's a navigation aid that aircraft use. I think they're pretty much becoming a thing of the past now as people rely more on satellites and that sort of thing. But in case you wanted to know what a VOR looks like from the air, then that is the Trent VOR. And now just coming up is Carsington Water. It's a big body of water which are always really good to help you with navigation. You can see it for miles. In fact, when I started to learn to paramotor, I'm not sure if I've told you this story, but many years ago my first venture into aviation was paramotoring, and one of the first flights that I had to do after I'd done the usual basic training was to take off from Darley-Moor, fly to Carsington Water, which is this body of water you can see, turn around and fly back towards the airfield. And that flight didn't go to plan. I took off from Darley-Moor, got to about 2,000 feet, quite clearly you can see this is a big body of water. Had no problem seeing it from Darley-Moor, flew to it, not a problem. Turned around, could I see Darley-Moor airfield? No. I didn't have any navigation equipment on me, I didn't even have a compass. Very, very ill prepared. So basically I flew around for about half an hour, got completely lost, got blown off course by the wind, and I ended up landing in a football field in a place called Heege, I think it's called, with next to no fuel. So that was an interesting day. I always remember the look of the lady that came out of her house with a cordless telephone, if you remember those. She'd just seen somebody falling out of the sky with what she thought was a parachute. She thought I'd bailed out of an aircraft. She came out all very worried, wanting to phone the emergency services. She was a little bit surprised when I just picked myself up, dusted myself off and asked where I was. And then I got a van ride back to Darley-Moor and had the piss taken out of me mercilessly. Fair enough. I'll tell you what, there's some amazing quarry formations around here. I really am spoilt flying out of Darley-Moor. We're at in the heart of the Peak District, and some of the scenery is the most spectacular scenery to fly over. I really, really am very, very lucky to have this on my doorstep. Matlock is another one of those really nice markety town places which the Peak District seems to be full of. It's a great place. There's some really good tourist attractions there. There's the Heights of Abraham, I think I've mentioned that before, which is a great tourist attraction. It's a big cable car ride. It's also very popular with motorcyclists. I do ride a motorbike myself, and over a weekend, particularly in the summer, the main road through Matlock is just lined either side full of motorbikes. It's a great place to go and visit. Go and have a chip cob or chip barb. Let's not have that conversation. I'm headed now to a place whose name I can't remember, which is great, isn't it? I think it's called Beeley Moor or Bisley Moor or something along those lines. And that was in the news recently because there was a very large bushfire which caused quite a lot of damage, and I think at one point they had something like 30 fire engines trying to put this fire out. It's all out now, but I just thought I'd go and have a nose and see if I could find out where it was. I think I can see it, so that is quite a large area. I can see why that took some putting out. I can actually smell it as well. I mean, obviously the fire is out, there's no smoke, but I'm getting a whiff of acrid smoke. Right, onward, on to the next attraction. All aboard the mystery tour. Right, just whilst I'm on my way to the next location, which we should be at in 2 minutes, that just gives me enough time to talk about QuizAero, who still sponsor the channel. QuizAero, in case you're wondering what it is, it's an online resource to help you pass all of the theory exams. It's not just for microlighting, they do helicopters, fixed wing, PPL, LAPL, you name it, they've got a course for it. However, they specifically do 2 courses tailored at microlight pilots, fixed wing and flex wing. They've done a really good job of doing an advert which is way better than anything that I can do. So what I'll do, if you'll please just indulge me, I'll just play some of their promotional material so you can see what QuizAero is all about.
If you're a student pilot working towards your NPPL licence, then I would highly recommend QuizAero. If, like me, you've got limited availability that would prevent you from attending ground school classes, then QuizAero is an online solution offering you the flexibility to study at your own pace and in your own time. QuizAero packages include everything that the student pilot needs to get through the written exams. You don't need to go and buy any more textbooks. Everything you need is online, and it's an all-in-one solution that will save you both time and money. All of the information that you need to pass the exams is presented in easy to follow bite-sized chunks, along with detailed diagrams and amazing animations which you won't find in any textbook. The packages also include practice exams, which you can use to monitor your progress at the end of each chapter and test yourself to see if you know the material as well as you think you do. And you can even generate certificates and share these with your flying instructor to let them know when you're ready for the test. The course works on mobile, tablet and desktop, so it gives you the flexibility to take it with you and study on the go. So whether you're a flex wing or a fixed wing NPPL student, QuizAero has a package to suit you.
In the description below all of my videos is a link to a sellers page where you can have a look at the QuizAero NPPL packages. There's 2 in particular, and they are affiliate links, full disclosure. If you do click on those links, then you can buy those packages. There's no discount, but QuizAero will give me a bit of a commission, which puts fuel in the tank and helps me keep flying, and anything that I do earn from YouTube or from sponsors or anything like that goes back into the channel. So go and have a look. So as we are following the River Derwent north, the next thing that it brings us to is Chatsworth House.
Chatsworth House is a whacking great big stately home situated right next to the River Derwent. It's a Grade 1 listed building, and it's been the seat of the Duke of Devonshire since 1549. Today it's cared for by a registered charity, and the house and grounds are open to the public, and it's well worth a visit if you're looking for a cracking day out.
I've been to Chatsworth House as a visitor a few times, flown over it a few times. They do a really nice Christmas market. Although the last time that I went, Mrs B and my mother quickly walked off in embarrassment because I was more amazed by the cloud formation that I spotted outside. Bonus points to anybody in the comments that can tell me what type of clouds are these. This really has turned out to be quite a fantastic evening to go flying. I really have missed this. Why I went nearly 10 months. Apart from the cold bit, I've already explained that. I don't like the cold. But I really need to make sure I don't leave it so long next time before I go flying, because we are really, really privileged as pilots. Quite often I've seen t-shirts for sale saying pilots looking down on people since 1902 or whenever it was that the Wright brothers got us in the air. And to some extent it is true, we are very, very privileged, and we get to see things from a viewpoint that very, very few people do. And it is a privilege, and it never gets old. It never gets old, this. I don't know if you can see it on the wing cam, but under the right wing now is Bakewell. Bakewell, of course, is home of the famous tart. I do like a tart. I did in my younger days anyway. I'm a happily married man, not so much these days. I'm landing in that field there if it goes wrong. Still always looking out for fields to land in. If it all goes quiet, that's good practice. A little bit of channel admin whilst I'm flying to the next secret location. I did mention on my last video that things are going to be slightly different on the channel. It's going to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more spontaneous. I'm just going to go flying, stick the cameras on, and whatever happens, happens. However, every now and again it is nice to come up with a new idea for a video to make, and coming up with ideas is something that I have struggled with. What has helped, and still does help, is when people ask things in the comments. Now please bear in mind, as I keep on saying, I am not an instructor. I am a new pilot. I'm a low airtime pilot. However, I have been through the course and I've learnt some stuff, and I've got a bit of experience flying these types of aircraft, and I'm more than happy to share what little bit of information I do know. It might be wrong, but I'm more than happy to share it. So if people ask questions, it does help come up with ideas. A good example is last year somebody called Bob asked a question, what happens, how does the wing behave when it stalls? And I thought, well, rather than just write out a long explanation in a reply, why don't I make a video? So I did. I'll put a link to that up there somewhere. So if you've got questions, then stick them in the comment section. And if it's a reasonable topic for a video, then who knows, I might even make a video out of it. So we're just approaching the next stop on the magical evening mystery tour of the Peak District, and it is an area called Dovedale and Thorpe Cloud, which is just coming up in front of us. Yet again, off the top of my head, I can't tell you very many facts about Thorpe Cloud and Dovedale. I know it's a really nice place to walk around, but I did say I was going to be more spontaneous. None of this was planned, so I'm going to have to rely on a voiceover guy to help me out with a bit of information.
Thorpe Cloud is a massive limestone hill at the southern end of Dovedale. The name Cloud comes from the English word clud, which means hill. Who knew? Anyway, fun fact, Dovedale was used as a location to film the Russell Crowe film Robin Hood in 2010, and having climbed up it with Mrs B, I can definitely confirm it's much easier to fly to the top than it is to walk there, although if you do manage it, the view from the top is well worth the effort.
I can see which way the wind's coming from. 1, 2, 3. Right, the last stop on the magical mystery tour, and that is Alton Towers theme park, which isn't far from Darley-Moor at all. Anybody in the UK watching this will know what Alton Towers theme park is. I think most people will have gone there as a school kid. It was a popular trip out. I remember when I was a kid walking around Alton Towers all day, being absolutely knackered at the end of it, even though I spent most of the day stood in a queue. But it just seemed to be absolutely huge. Although from the air it doesn't seem quite so big. So let me give you a bit of an orbit of Alton Towers and you can see what it looks like. Straight down the oblivion. Normally if you time it right you can fly over it just as somebody disappears down the oblivion tunnel. Tonight I'm not so lucky. It looks kind of empty actually. I'm not sure if it's still open. Yeah, car park looks kind of deserted. Right, well that hasn't even scratched the surface of some of the amazing things that you can see from the air if you fly out of Darley-Moor. If you want to come and see these things for yourself, then have a look up Micro Aviation. I'll put their details on. They do a range of pleasure flights, including all the places that I've just shown you, plus lots more. Chatsworth House, if you carry on going north, you go up to the dams where the dam busters did their training. I did a video on that last year, I'll put a link up there. Seeing it on a camera is one thing, seeing it for yourself is something altogether different, so go and have a look. Right, I'm heading back to Darley-Moor. I've got another hour in my logbook, which was what I planned to do. Hopefully I'll get those 6 hours that I need before the end of June. I'll be able to get my licence revalidated and I will be able to enjoy the privileges of that licence for at least another 2 years. Just a quick YouTube thing, as we all have to do. If you have liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. It takes you a second. It might seem like a bind, but it does take you a second. It helps the videos out massively. Essentially, they get shared way more if they get more thumbs up, so I'll be ever so grateful if you just give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, then feel free to do that as well, so you can come and join me as I come and enjoy this crazy hobby. Right, back to Darley Moor. Darley Moor Traffic Golf Charlie Mike Papa X-ray is overhead and will descend dead side for runway 01 at Darley Moor. Darley Moor Traffic Golf Papa X-ray turning downwind for 01 at Darley Moor. Right, downwind checks, fuel sufficient to go around, awareness, nothing on the airfield, nothing in the circuit, got the place to myself. Wind, not a lot looking at that windsock. Nose wheel is straight, throttle is good, temperatures no idea, and I'm all secure and I'm ready to land. Darley Moor Traffic Golf Charlie Mike Papa X-ray turning final for 01 at Darley Moor. In case you're wondering what that was, that's a little signal that me and Mrs. B's got. It comes from Max and Paddy.
Drink.
And it's the cue for her to pour me a large one.